is one of the most iconic bands from the new wave of British heavy metal, captivating fans for over 5 decades with its powerful sound and electrifying stage presence. From classics like Wheels of Steel and The Nin and Leather, the band has cemented itself as a symbol of British metal, influencing generations and maintaining an impressive career in the genre. Within this sonic powerhouse, we have this remarkable gentleman right here. Sir Nigel Glockler is one of the Saxon players, bringing technique, energy, and precision to shape the band's full sound over the years. His talent as a drummer has helped to define the group's identity and carry it through different eras of metal. Today, we have the privilege of diving into your journey, exploring your history in Saxon, your evolution as a musician, and what lies ahead. Nigel, thank you so much for giving us some of your time.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And first of all, you joined Saxon in 81.
Yeah.
If you could back in time and give young Nigel some advice, what would it be?
Oh my God. That is a difficult one. Don't stay up so late after a gig.
Okay.
Because you've got one the next day. No.
Okay.
I don't know. I think, there's, I was just saying, I think, all the time it's like, I think you're improving as a musician. So, and I think sometimes, one of the things I would say is concentrate on the groove of the song.
Oh, it's a nice advice.
The groove is the most important thing.
For the drummer, you say?
For a drummer, yeah. It's like, for instance, when we write now, we'll go in and we'll routine and practice stuff. And in the studio, I always play to a click track. That's my choice. Not the band's choice, that's my choice, because that's how I like to work. And so when we rehearse, we'll set a click up. Okay? And we might go, no, that seems a little bit fast for that. Let's take it down a little bit and make it a bit slower. So then that way we experiment with the groove. That's the most important thing. So maybe I'd go back and tell young Nigel that.
Perfect. I like this one. Which gives me to the next question.
Yeah.
Over the decades, Saxon has gone through musical and technological changes. How do you see the evolution of metal from the 80s to today?
Well, we've had, we had the grunge thing for a while, but it's funny, people are getting back into the classic heavy rock now. Whenever we tour, at the front, we've always got young kids. And the crazy thing is, they know the words better than we do. So we must be doing something right. But yeah, with technology, it's like you can do so much more. There's better recording equipment, everything. I think musically, sometimes I think a lot of rock music can sound very generic. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It can all sound the same. Yes. A lot of it. I'm not talking about the sort of popular band. I'm talking about with a lot of bands maybe starting up. But I think generally, with the equipment one has got to use now, amps sound better now. Everything just, it's just the technology just moves on,
Okay. Which make me think one thing about Saxon. You guys are on the road for so many years. How has the band managed to evolve without losing its essence? Because we know Saxon did a lot of albums, and your guys are always experimenting, trying new things, but you keep this essence. How do you do that?
Well, the essence is, we sound like Saxon because it's the guys in the band. I know we've had a couple of, we've had, like, recently we had a change with Brian Tatler from Diamond Head joining us. Paul Quinn retired. He didn't want to tour anymore. So he said, no, I don't want to tour anymore. So we got Brian in. So obviously every time you get another member in, things change a little bit, obviously, but the actual sort of basis of the band stays the same. You know, so it's the 5 people. That's how we sound. That's it.
It's the guys who make the band.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, you've got Biff's voice, you know. I mean, that's the first recognizable thing straight away, you know. And I mean, that's probably the most important thing, you know. And it's just the 4 guys round him doing the music. And then, you know, we all think the same way. When we're writing, we're very fussy about what we put on an album. We're very fussy about how it works in the studio, you know.
But I think you also has your mark as a drummer.
Right.
If you could choose one album that best represents your signature in drumming, which one would it be and why?
Oh my God.
That's a tough question. Sorry.
I think, yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, I'm really pleased with my performance and drum sound on the last album, you know, Hellfire and Damnation. I'm really pleased with that. I'm very fussy when I record. I'm very fussy about what I play. You know?
So we can speak about Hellfire and Damnation because it's a great album. It has been well received by the fans. And I know the production included Andy Sneap, that is a legendary metal producer. How was it working with him?
Oh, he's great. I love working with Andy. For a start, we have a good laugh. So everything's relaxed in the studio. I mean, I actually record the drums on my own. I mean, this all started on, I think it was when we did the album Sacrifice.
Okay.
We recorded the demos to click track.
Okay.
And then what happened was I would go into the studio with say maybe as a guide track I'd have the bass and 1 guitar. Right, maybe Biff would be in the control room doing the vocals, saying, "Okay, chorus, blah, 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 blah," like this. And I just found that was just such an easy way to work for me, because there was always this thing in the 80s when every bands were recording together.
Okay.
There was always this thing. So, I mean, for me, probably my best track takes are probably 1 to 4 of each song. The first 4 times I play through it are probably my best.
Okay.
And then it might happen I'd be doing a great first track and the guitarist screws up. So we've got to stop.
I can imagine that.
Yeah? So we've got to stop and start again. So then we do it. I might screw something up, hit the rim of a drum or something. So we stop again.
Okay.
And I think you get to a point where you think, I've got to finish this track to get on to the next one, right? Because this is, I've got to get on that because I don't want the guitarist about to get bored and we've got to get on to the next. So for me, if you're doing that, you're playing safe. Do you understand? You just play anything to get to the end of the song, right? Whereas if I'm on my own, playing with a click, we've recorded the demos before, so I've got something in my can, so I play to a click and all that stuff. If I screw up, I can go, right, stop that, I don't like that. I can go back a little way, play exactly what I played, and they drop in, bang, and on to the next. So I can really try difficult stuff out if I want to.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, it's only me playing. It's not the guitarist going, "Oh God, not again! My fingers are getting sore." You understand what I mean?
Yes, perfect.
I mean, we did actually it worked so great with Sacrifice, for instance. I did all the drum tracks for Sacrifice, including getting the drum sound, in 3 days.
Oh, very nice to hear it. It's a more practical way of working, I think.
It's better for me. It's definitely better. And I haven't got anyone there. It's just me and Andy. And what Andy will do is, we'll work together. I'll play something. He'll go, "Okay, could you tune that?" And so we're constant talking,
Yes.
all
And
the
this
time.
way, each musician has his own responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So he's just great to work with. You know, brilliant.
Very nice to read. And we can talk a little bit about Hellfire and Damnation. This
Yeah.
latest album explores historical and mystical themes, such as 1066 and Kuba Clan and the Merchant of Venice. How do you choose these themes, and what inspired these tracks?
Biff is usually the one that sort of comes up with someone, we might send him demos and something in his head goes boink, and it's like, oh yeah, that fits. I've been thinking about doing a song about this. This works with that, and that how it works. I mean, both Biff and I read a lot of history and stuff, he might, all of us sometimes, mainly Biff, but we all might come up with song titles or something, so it goes down noted somewhere. Or let's do a song about this, or let's do a song about, so that's how it works. And Biff might get inspired to write a certain lyric to a certain guitar riff. Okay. And then he has an idea. Oh yeah, let's do that about, 1066, which was like, when William the Conqueror attacked England, in 1066. And so, because it's history and we like writing historical stuff.
Yes. And you are doing very well in these lyrics. Congratulations.
Great.
For you. Another thing that I can imagine that you guys, it's so many years on the road, you've toured all over the world. Is there any country you haven't played that you loved to go?
No, I mean, we'll go anywhere. If someone asks us to go anywhere, I mean, we're enjoying the countries that we're touring now. It's great. We just love it. We love coming to South America. Love touring America. Every country's got its own little sort of thing that we love about it. Yeah, I guess there's probably maybe some Far East places. I don't know, but it's funny. I mean, just in about 10 days, we're going to do 3 shows in Japan.
Okay.
Which I'm really looking forward to because we played there before and it's great,
The crowd must be so excited about it. Like in Brazil. In Brazil,
yeah.
They say the fans are the most loudest ever.
Oh, definitely. The Brazilian and South American fans in general are the loudest, definitely. And I was saying on a previous interview, it's like, they turn up at airports, waiting for us at airports. And it's like, how the hell do they know what flight we're on? Who's giving them this information? It's like...
And speaking of which, for the fans attending Bangers Open Air, what can we expect from Saxon? Will there be any surprises?
You'll just have to wait and see. Otherwise, it won't be a surprise, will it? So, no, I mean, generally, when we play festivals, we play classic songs from throughout our career.
Okay.
So that there'll be some stuff off the last album, Hellfire. There'll be some stuff off various albums before that and some really early stuff. So, we do that. The whole thing for us with the festival, it's got to be like a party atmosphere.
I can't wait.
And play the classics,
Okay, I'll be there, I promise.
Excellent.
Nigel, one more personal question. I know you are a guy who breathes metal. Is there a musical style outside of rock and metal that you enjoy playing?
I like playing everything.
Yeah.
See, anything. Yeah. I mean, I like playing prog and all sorts of stuff, It was funny because I had a really special time when we did this last European tour and we played in Milan in Italy. And when I was still living at home with my parents, there was an Italian progressive band. They're still going now, actually, called PFM.
Okay.
Who were one of my favorite bands. They still are now. And I used to practice. I used to put headphones on and play along to their albums for hours, and it's very progressive, bit jazzy, fusiony. It's everything, And one of my favorite drummers was their drummer, Franz Di Coccio.
Oh.
And I had to do a thing. There's a magazine in England called Prog. I don't know if you get it in Brazil. It's like the magazine Classic Rock. It's the same publisher, I think, but it's called Prog. So it's all about progressive music. And they asked me, who is your prog hero? So I put Franz Di Coccio. Okay. Just a little article, and I explained why and blah, 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 blah. And he saw it and messaged me. And the great thing was, I finally got to meet him in Milan. He came to the gig in Milan a couple of months ago.
That must be epic.
I was almost in tears, I tell you, because he was my hero. He just walked into the room where I was and just gave me a big hug.
So our idols has an idol too.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was a really emotional moment for me. So we've become really good friends, and we keep in touch all the time now. Nice
to hear that you have your heroes too.
Yeah.
For us, our fans, this is very helpful to hear from you. Which leaves me to maybe the last question, because we're running out of time. Yeah. If you could create the ultimate dream festival lineup with both today's bands and legendary ones from the past, who would you put on stage alongside Saxon? Do you have any band in mind that you are doing?
It was fun. It's really strange, actually, because my wife had, she's American, and we play one of the main places we play in America, which is, we're really popular there, is San Antonio in Texas.
Okay.
And we play, there's this place called the Sunken Gardens, which holds, I think, about 10,000 people or something. It's great, between 5,000 and 10,000 people. Okay. So she came up with this idea of doing a Saxon Fest. So we'd headline, maybe be 2 or 3 days, and we'd headline, the main day. And all the bands on it would be the bands that were in the 80s, were really popular and from San Antonio.
Whoa.
And she came up with some great, it was brilliant, actually, really cool. There were all the bands from the 80s, like, well, they're still going now, Riot, and there was Legs Diamond, and we thought we'll put some other bands on as well. No, it sounded really interesting. That would have been great.
If you guys are keen to do this one day in Brazil, I promise I'll be there too.
But yeah, it was just an idea she had. Whether it'll happen or not, I have no idea.
I would attend to it, and I'll help to sell the tickets.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that is it. Thank you so much, Nigel. You were incredibly kind. I can't wait to see Saxon on my third at Bangers, and I'm very happy to be able to have the opportunity to talk to you today. That's it.
Yeah. So you're coming to the festival. So I'll see you backstage then. Yeah.
Sure.
Then we'll have a beer together.
Okay, I'll be there.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
You take care. Okay.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. All the best.